Yo! Seems like a fitting start to the first live stream of the year. Hey y'all! Sorry if that was loud. And sorry I'm a little late today. How is everybody doing? Be right back in 1 second. I'm getting a water bottle from the back. 1 sec. There. Now I'm ready. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Kaiwan. Hey, Cortez. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. What are y'all saying? Y'all already chatting. Kaiwan, you said, well, I was doing some whole shit in Washington and Nina's trying to take control. I think Nina is doing it because of she doesn't want to lose another daughter. And Cortez, you said, I know you. Do you? Do you know me? Oh, man. I hope everyone had a good New Year. I know we're like 5 days into the New Year, but yeah. Well, yeah, New Year's is over, but this is my first live stream since the New Year, so I'm wishing y'all a Happy New Year. All right, but what's up, everybody? Welcome to the General Hospital After Show. I am your host, Dion Gabriel, and for the first time in GH After Show history, tonight we are discussing a spoiler. One that was forced upon us for 3 solid hours by mistake, 4 days early. Oh, man. Far be it from me. You guys know that I don't like reading spoilers. The only thing I really read in terms of spoilers are like acting announcements, like actors returning or coming to the show, that kind of thing. Or like articles from like the writers doing an interview, kind of giving like a sneak peek of the layout for the year. So if you didn't know, on Friday on GH's social media, instead of showing a sneak peek of Friday's episode as they typically do in the mornings, they showed a sneak peek for, I think, Tuesday's episode. And something colossal was spoiled. I'm talking level 10 disaster kind of spoiler, okay? And a level 10 disaster kind of error that likely got whoever posted it fired, I'm sure, because dang. So basically in the preview, we see that Sonny's penthouse is not only up in flames, but that Michael Corinthos is literally on fire and screaming for help. While Jason is trying to push Sonny out of the penthouse as well. So if you guys didn't know, like a week or so ago, there was an article like an interview with the head writers of the show that hinted that a violent incident would lead to Michael's exit to the show. And to be honest, when it was mentioned, this scenario was the last thing or the last like theory on my mind. I figured like maybe Drew and Willow would do something stupid that puts him in a coma or something, leading to the epic romance for Drew and Willow that fans of GH would supposedly fall in love with, according to Cameron Matheson, who apparently can't read the room. But Michael being set on fire is wild. That is not something I had on my GH bingo card for 2025. Oh, man. And, since Chad Duell is really just taking some time off for himself, if you guys didn't know, he's He's going through some personal stuff. His father passed away. He's still trying to process it, and he wants to step back from GH and just, be there with his family and do his thing for a while. And he hasn't really decided if he's coming back. He's open to it, but he's got to live his life for a little bit. But I'd say, given what we know about this accidental preview, I think this the way that they're going about his exit makes sense to me. So my guess is that he'll actually survive this, but he'll obviously be severely burned, and this gives GH a chance to either recast the character someday, if they want to, if Chad decides not to return, or he'll actually return and all that $250,000 money will pay for, restoration to his face and he'll look like the old Michael, Chad Duell. So, reconstructive surgery because of all the severe burns with a new face, or just, a great plastic surgeon for Michael that knows what he looks like. So it's hard to say. In any case, I did think it was hilarious that such a mix-up with the sneak peek was made on GH's social and was completely unnoticed for 3 hours, by the way. Like, damn, they're really sleeping behind the wheel at GH. All right, sorry, I'm missing what you guys are saying in the chat. New Year's is pretty normal. Oh, your mom passed away. That's correct. I'm sorry. You thought that they were setting up for a kidnapping, but fire is pretty good. That's fair. Yeah, like it makes sense to me that they went this route because they don't know what Chad's gonna do. Like they can really turn Michael into a recast should they decide to, or if Chad ultimately doesn't decide to return, or they can bring him back and his face burns weren't that severe and they heal him down the road. But yeah, I'm I'm intrigued to see how this fire starts. Like, I don't know. It just, because it aired so early, we have no context to how this happens. How Sonny's place is just burning up in flames right now. But yeah, all right. On to the stories, though. It was another short week in Port Charles, partially because of the holidays and partially because of the tragedy that took place in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. And my condolences go out to the family and friends affected by the incident that happened. So crazy. I love New Orleans, and I stayed pretty close to Bourbon Street and was there almost every day when I went. So that place means a lot to me. And just seeing that violence happen is insane. All right. So let's talk about the stories that went on in GH this week. We'll get into Michael first because it makes sense. We're already talking about him. This week in Port Charles, Michael called Sasha into his office so they could have a private talk since the walls at the Q mansion has about 25 pairs of eyes and ears these days. But yeah, he wants to fill her in on the fact that he and Willow are likely headed to divorce court, which will likely involve a custody trial for their kids, and that it's likely that the truth about Drew and Willow will be announced to the public soon. And his intention was to make sure she wasn't going to tell the truth about her own tryst with Michael. She reassured him she would keep it a secret and tells him that she's going to leave Port Charles because she's pregnant with his baby. So she actually told him the truth. I'm actually surprised by that. And after going back and forth for a bit on everything from wanting to raise the baby on her own and him wanting to step up as the baby's father, Michael finally convinces her to stay in Port Charles, while Sasha convinces him to keep the fact that he's the father a secret. I'm sure that'll be no problem, given that Michael's gonna blow up or be set on fire, but it is what it is. And I'm glad Sasha is sticking around. I didn't think she was leaving the show, but she clearly has allies here in the Scorpio family. Felicia's already she actually told Felicia that she's pregnant. She obviously didn't say who the father was, but Sasha even lists Felicia as her emergency contact. So I like that they're getting close. I really do. I do wish that Robert and Holly were on the show. Felicia does say that Robert would make an excellent grandfather. And, to give Holly a chance. We'll see what happens there. Angel comes in with a child. Oh man, did you just get here? We were talking about the mishap with the sneak peek earlier. How wild was that? Man. Oh, lordy. All right, let's get into the Wonder Cues, though. Willow and Drew. Star-crossed lovers, apparently, according to Cameron Matheson. Again, I don't know if he can read a room, but I don't think GH fans think that for a second. They'll be wonderful grandparents, but left you high and dry. Ain't that the truth? Alright, but anyway, back to Drew and Willow. Drew had the audacity to invite Willow out to his swearing-in ceremony in DC, and Willow had the audacity to accept. And not only that, but bring Wiley along with her on the trip. Like, I don't understand why Willow is so dumb. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sitting here like, boy, if Michael don't do something about this, I'll scream. I'll literally scream. But instead, he apparently screams while being set on fire. So, guess it's anyone's guess what's going to happen. Nina and Curtis were also discussing Drew's behavior, being unrecognizable, and trying to pinpoint what changed him. Remember how GH last year, when it was, I think it was under a different regime, was hinting that Drew might be experiencing PTSD. They were like always constantly talking about how his personality has changed so much, and he was acting really weird when he was with Carly and towards the end of their relationship, and you know, now they've kind of circled back to that. But you know, I figured it was like meant as like PTSD, not sleeping with your nephew's wife and flaunting how close they are on television. Oh man. Willow just kidnapped Michael's child. True. Angel, that's exactly what I said, by the way. I did say, I was like, whoever posted that totally got fired. Sleeping at the wheel and letting it stay on there for 3 hours, that clip. Insane. Oh, man. But yeah, going back to the plot, like Curtis advises Nina to come clean to Willow about her own relationship with Drew so she can stop seeing him with the rose-colored glasses she apparently has on. I don't see Nina doing it. Because Nina, she's just so desperate to keep Willow in her life that she's going to keep more lies and secrets, even though it's always not ended well for her every other time. But that's just who she is. Like, and also Ava told her like a dozen times already, and that's her bestie. So I don't know. She should. I think that she should. Let Nina have some growth and actually tell the damn truth for once. But yeah, I don't think Curtis will get through to her. Anyway, Michael shows up at Aurora, and Nina decided to let him know where Willow and Wiley were. And he had no response on his face. Like, he's just like, thanks for letting me know. And just like walked out. And even Nina and Curtis know, they're like, oh, if Michael is like that straight-faced, she about to get her ass kicked. So, I don't know. Michael's clearly keeping the cards close to his vest. The question is, will it even matter by this week? I don't think so. What are y'all saying? The media hype. You think they did the leak on purpose? I doubt that. Like, first of all, the Gates isn't even on until like mid-February, I think. So this wouldn't have affected anything. Hey, Sandy. I'm thinking Michael's going to burn himself trying to burn Willow. But is he really going to set himself on fire at Sonny's house? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone's there to witness it beyond Sonny and Jason. And, like, Michael is clearly, like, blood-curdling screams in that clip. If you guys haven't seen the clip, Sabrina Faith posted it on her YouTube channel. So check it out if you want to see the insanity that's apparently going to go down probably by the end of Monday's episode, it's going to start, and then Tuesday we'll see the fallout of it. Ah, man. Whoop. Angel, you said Willow needs to lose everything. This girl continues to be a fool. She doesn't learn like her mama. At this point, I hope the rumors are true and Nell comes back and takes Wiley. Oh, man. I mean, I love Chloe Lanier. And her death was kind of mysterious. So, hey, you know, if the rumors are true, it could shake things up a bit. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Nell versus Willow could be fun. Alright. Let's move on, though. Let's talk about Michael's father, Sonny Corinthos. So, it seems like he's starting the new year hitting the ground. Not even running, just hitting the ground. He was working out at Volnino's gym when he suddenly clutched his chest and fell to the ground, helpless. Thankfully, new Dr. Hottie, Isaac, happened to be there to help him and called the paramedics to assist. But Sonny refused to go to GH because he couldn't look weak in front of his enemies. That we never see, by the way. But Isaac warned him that the ramifications of leaving his condition untreated, you know, like it could have serious consequences. He asked Sonny if he has any history involving issues with his heart, and he mentioned getting shot in the chest over 20 years ago, which I think he said that it affected his heart during the surgery, or his heart stopped during the surgery. I think what he's referring to is when he, Xander, Emily, and Alexis got shot at outside of the PCPD, where he took 2 gunshots to the chest. That's the only shooting I can think of that was like around that time that was at his chest. So I'm thinking that's the one that they were referring to, but they were very sort of slim on the details for that incident that he referred to. But yeah, so later, Isaac and Sonny continue their conversation at Sonny's penthouse, where Isaac suggests a specialist for him to go see. Sonny's still worried about discretion, acting like he ain't ever dealt with doctors before, but Sonny's thinking about business, mob business. So, I don't know, it's ridiculous. Jason walks in, and Sonny fills Jason in on what happened. Sonny thinks that he might need to step down permanently from his job, and he wants to give the reins over to Jason. And in the most surprising move yet, Jason turned him down, which is crazy. And he put his family first, which is also crazy. We've not seen that before. Like, honestly, like, I mean, I know I'm shitting on Jason here, but like, he has chosen Sonny and Carly over his family for, you know, for decades. So, I don't know. I'm shocked, but I'm impressed. That is growth, Jason. That is something I expected Billy Miller's Drew Jason to do. But you're doing it. And, you know, he just explains it. He's like, you know, he's the only parent that Danny has left. Danny just lost Sam. And he's living at the Q's, and he can't bring danger to them either. So that leaves Sonny with no one to take over his business. Any suggestions to who Sonny should pick? Because I have no clue. Maybe Cyrus will end up taking over, being the new mob kingpin of Port Charles. Alright. What are y'all saying? Sandy said, I can't take another death. I don't think Michael's going to die. Truthfully, I don't think he's going to die. I think he's just going to be severely burned and will have to get treatment off screen. And that leaves the door open for Chad Duell to return if he decides to, or for the show to recast the character if he decides not to come back. Xander, Alexis, Emily, yeah. Angel said, a little annoyed that Sasha didn't want Michael in the baby's life. She was literally in danger because of her mama, and Sidwell is still running amok. Yeah, he's still out there somewhere doing something. Maybe Sidwell sets the fire to Sonny's place. Who knows? They're giving him a heart problem because that's what Victor had on Days of Our Lives. Truthfully, I don't think GH sits there and copies like other soaps just what they're doing. There's only so much stories that they can tell, and I don't know. I just don't think that they're sitting there studying, and they would somehow have knowledge of like, you know, of like recent stories on shows when they've written these stories like at least 6 or 7 months ago. He said Jason isn't a robot anymore. I feel like Jason Quarterman is back. Not quite. Angel, you said, can anyone show the clip where Sonny actually got shot in the chest? Because I don't remember. We can watch it on Wednesday if you want. We can do that for the first, like, GHMV Reacts live stream, if you want. Because I was thinking about that, actually. I'm down to do that on Wednesday. We're going to keep this live stream to just, like, the show this week. But Wednesday, we can definitely look at the throwback if you want. And, you know, again, I'm only speculating that that's the shooting they're referring to. It's the only one that kind of matches the time frame of when he said he got shot. But yeah. Angel says, for the love of God, no Christina running the mob. That would be awful. Oh, man. And hey, Allison. Happy New Year. Welcome to the first stream of the new year. Michael will be in a coma again. Yeah, exactly. I think he'll just be in a burn unit until they're ready to bring him back in some capacity, in some way, whether it's a recast or Chad returns. But man, it's funny that you mentioned Christina, Angel, just because I literally in my notes I was like, Christina? Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if he ends up passing it on to her? I mean, he already gave her Charlie, so why not? Actually, before Sonny had his health scare, Alexis had asked Sonny to take Charlie's back away from Christina because of how his mob connections might screw her over. Sonny basically says no, respectfully, because Charlie's is legitimate and he's going to make sure his own business doesn't interfere with Charlie's in any way. I mean, leaving the mob might help, as long as no one sets his penthouse on fire. That's totally not going to happen. Anyway... Christina's already changed the lighting of Charlie's, by the way. Like, she's added like instruments to the wall. She's slowly changing things around. Lucas paid her a visit because she found a photo of Wiley in Julian's old office she wanted to give him, and he fills her in on his confrontation with Willow and how Drew tried to use Sam's death as an excuse to justify sleeping with Willow. Then things get a little awkward. He talks about how him and Ava are getting a little bit closer, and filled her in on what happened before Sam's funeral, and why he wasn't there, and how he was there, or she was there for him. Christina makes this whole stance of like, you know, the jury decided how it is, and I'm finding a moment of clarity and peace with it, and I'm just trying to move on. And we all know that's bullshit. We know. You ain't fooling anyone, Christina. Christina, like, this girl is two clicks away from murdering Ava. Like, all she gotta do is hear Ava's name 2 more times, and she'll probably just kill her. I don't know. But also, Lucas did throw in the fact that she's having financial troubles. I feel like he wanted to give Christina a little nugget of, like, something that might cheer her up a little bit about her. What are y'all saying? Sam shot him 2 times in the chest. That's true. That's true. But he referred to something that happened 25 years ago, or to that effect, and that was like 2000. And I think that's the year that Sonny shooting happened. And they probably just conveniently forgot about the time that Sam shot him in the chest as well. All right, we'll watch the clip on Wednesday for sure, Angel. Can you ever really leave the mob? You said, Allison. We've seen someone leave the mob before. Who was it? Was it not like Jason when Billy Miller was playing him? Or was it... Who was it? I swear someone left the mob. Dex! Dex left the mob! And then he got stabbed and died. Totally unrelated. The way he makes Sonny seem evil. I mean, he's not evil, but he is a mobster. I don't know. Allison says, yeah, she's kind of obsessed with Ava. Yeah, it's a little bit creepy. Does she not really remember what happened? I don't know. I think she's having a hard time believing that it was an accident, because then that, I think in her mind, it kind of proves that she really is responsible for her child's death in a way, because she went to Ava's. Would have never happened if she didn't want to threaten Ava. Hard thing for her to accept, I guess. Wasn't it like Xander? The person that shot Sonny? No, Xander and Sonny both got shot in that incident by two guys that were like dressed as police officers. I don't remember the context, why it went down, how it went down. I do remember the montage. But yeah, we'll watch that Wednesday, just so we can have a refresher course. Not that I think it's going to have much bearing in the upcoming story with Sonny, but, you know, we got to watch something. We're getting back to the Wednesday stream, so we'll look forward to that. You're going to miss text on your screen. Okay, one. All right. Let's move on though. Let's actually talk about Ava for a minute, because her financial troubles literally makes no sense to me. But let's talk about it. She is so desperate to get her money back. She went to Laura's office to ask for her help to get it back, and she said her hands are tied, explaining how Ace is now the sole Cassadine heir, which is why all of the Cassadine money from the settlement was revoked and has gone to, you know, Ace's trustee. Laura also mentioned how Alexis was the trustee for that fortune. Reluctantly, she went over to Alexis's office next to ask her for help, and Alexis was happy to announce, not to mention, love the fact that she literally cannot do anything to help. She's got to wait till Ace is 18 to possibly get the fortune back, if she asks him nicely and he actually agrees to it all the way then. But who knows? The way kids age on the show, that could literally be tomorrow. So good luck, Ava. And yes, so here's my thing, Allison. Why is she broke? Does she not have some renowned art gallery in Port Charles that has been successful? She's had art galleries in New York that have been successful. Like, she's had her own money for a long time. She wasn't always married to a Cassadine. That was just like extra money, a lot of extra money. But she was rich before Nicholas. And her gallery is still open and supposedly successful still. So where is all that money? That's what I want to know. Make it make sense. Lord. Alexis wouldn't spit on Ava if she was on fire. True. Until he's 21. Sorry, I'm Canadian. 21. Until he's 21. But yeah, I don't know. It's the Ava being broke part that makes no sense in the story. Acting like she ain't a whole gallery owner at this point. Upper middle class. Yeah, she doesn't have billions of dollars, but like, she shouldn't be able to not pay for a meal. Like, she had a pretty nice, I don't know. She had a pretty nice penthouse on her own post Julian, so before Windermere. ETM machine, you said that storyline confuses me as well. Before she met and got together with Nicholas, she was rich beforehand too. Yeah, it don't make any sense to me. It's so dumb. Alright, but since we are talking about the Cassadines, we might as well keep the Cassadine conversation going. By talking about Lulu's reunion with Valentine Cassadine, where she tried to convince him to let Charlotte come home with her. No dice, obviously. She told him she wouldn't be safe here, and they're in Prague, by the way? Prague. And he was like, she wouldn't be safe in Port Charles either. Anna shot her. And like, be serious, Valentine. That has to be the dumbest excuse, because you know damn well it was an accident. She's not gonna shoot her again. You know, like, it's so what a stupid thing to say. But you know, on the flip side, Lulu did not know about that, so that's one thing that she has to deal with catching up on as well. But yeah, soon after, Dante shows up, and Valentine thought Lulu set him up, which wasn't the case. He just happened to track Lulu down because Rocco told him, where she was going. But yeah, and then like 2 seconds after he gets there, someone tries to shoot Valentine and kill him through the window, and it's that chick from the WSB that works with Jack who followed Lulu. Who would have thought that super spies had such bad aim, by the way? Because not only did like Valentine dip and like Charlotte dipped, like they ran out so fast that nobody knew where they went. I don't know. It was weird. But anyway, Lulu was ready to try and track them down, likely by running around town frantically screaming, "I'm looking for America's most wanted criminal, Valentine Cassadine." I'm sure. And Dante's sure that's what her plan was too. Dante's already had it up to here with Lulu. She's sitting there yelling at him, saying Valentine was so close to letting Charlotte come with her, which, be for real, we know that's not the case, and she blames Dante for being the reason she didn't get to take Charlotte home. And Dante points out that the sniper likely followed Lulu straight to Valentine, so the only reason why Charlotte was in any danger is because of her. And then Dante later on points out how little Rocco seems to matter to her right now, and to give her an even bigger low blow, he says that Lulu being so reckless with her own life was like a slap in the face to Sam's memory, who died to save Lulu's life, one she clearly doesn't seem to care about. And honestly, I'm really glad that Dante stood up for himself and for Rocco and for Sam in that moment. Lulu needs a reality check. I've been enjoying Alexa's performance as Lulu, but like the writing for her has been awful. She is so like frustrating. She was frustrating this week. And the thing is, like, it's not the first reality check he's given her either. This is like the third at this point. And Lulu couldn't even counter argue with what he said to her, and all she could do was throw a tantrum and throw a vase and scream because she knew he was right. Like, she knew he was right. All right, what are y'all saying in the chat? Maybe she's rich people broke or poor people broke. I need answers. She had a $600 meal. That was nuts. Yeah, surely the food wasn't that great. Lulu got on my nerves. Lulu's doing way too much. I mean, we know Jack tried to kill Valentine. He sent her there to follow Lulu to lead to Valentine. And yeah, like they're definitely trying to hide the government secrets with the Pikeman situation. Yeah, Allison, you said Lulu was annoying though and left her son on Christmas. Yeah, like that's just so selfish, especially after Tracy was like, you have a son here who's just got his mom back and she didn't get to spend any time with him on Christmas, which is insane. Like, you could have waited a day to go after Charlotte. You could have. It wouldn't have made a damn difference. But yeah. Honestly, in terms of Lulu, she's just frustrating. Because first of all, like, Charlotte already told Lulu she couldn't leave her papa anyway. And while she hadn't seen her daughter in 4 years, it doesn't take a genius to know that Lulu lost the battle the moment she planned on trying to convince Charlotte to go home with her. Because we know she wasn't going to do that. We actually see Valentine and Charlotte later on as well in their getaway car. And he explained how there's a lot of bad people after him and asks her if she wants to stay with him or go back to her family in Port Charles. Basically, her choice is to go with Lulu and never see Valentine again, or choose to stay with Valentine and never see Lulu again. And to literally nobody's surprise, and if you are surprised, I'm confused, she chose Valentine. 'Cause duh. Papa Valentine. Ugh. I mean, come on. Let's be real. At best, Charlotte mildly tolerated Lulu most of her life. That girl don't love her. She will choose Valentine every time. Maybe it's because she knows Valentine has nobody in his corner in this case, but I'm convinced if both of them were in burning buildings side to side and she could only put one fire out, she would choose Valentine's building. Hopefully, that's the last we see of Valentine and Charlotte for a while. Sorry, y'all. I literally could not care less about either one of them. Dead ass. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. Alexa is a good Lulu, but Lulu is a mess. Agreed. Lulu is annoying. Yeah, they're writing her annoyingly. But I do think that Alexa's doing a great job in terms of the acting, but like the way that they're writing her right now is crazy. Yeah, Charlotte never cared about Lulu. Totally. Yeah, like, come on. Her whole life. And I mean, I know that, like, I feel like Charlotte is to a point where, like, she does feel like Valentine has no one, because he really doesn't have anyone. Like, he'd just be out there on his own, you know? But, like, I don't know. I think, like, even if he wasn't in danger, if like, Valentine and Lulu were, like, both safe in Port Charles, but Valentine, you know, like, they gave her a choice to, like, hey, you can either live with me, Lulu, or me, Valentine, she'd still pick Valentine. It's always the dad. She's her dad's, you know, or her dad is, like, her special parent. And, like, the constant parent as well. Lulu was in a coma, so 4 years without Lulu. On top of that, she spent most of her early days without Lulu. And honestly, she hated Lulu on sight when she did meet her. She was a demon child. I called her that all the time. She was, like, screaming and throwing tantrums and hated Lulu. Hated her. And yeah, like, they built some kind of relationship, but it was like a very minimal one. Like, they got to share custody of Charlotte for a while, but I don't know. Yeah, I was going to say that. Exactly. The first time Charlotte showed real attachment to Lulu was when Lulu was already in her coma. And at the end of it. Basically, when they started the story of, like, Lulu getting more ill, that's when we started seeing Charlotte care about Lulu a little bit. But yeah, she'll always pick her dad, for sure. She's daddy's girl. Man. Yeah, Charlotte didn't know anything about Lulu when she was a kid, until she was a kid. Talking and well potty trained. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Nathan. But yeah, finally, let's talk about Elizabeth. She has a meeting at the hospital. She thought it was just with Terry and Portia, but GH's lawyer happened to be in the room too. Dex's biopsy came back, and it revealed that he too died of digitalis, which was obvious to all of us, and probably even to Elizabeth. And GH's lawyer wanted to ask questions, including about another random patient who died under mysterious circumstances while Elizabeth had a shift back in August. A random patient. It wasn't anyone that we knew personally. Probably off-screen situation. Well, I think Elizabeth had the intention on cooperating. Rick showed up and jumped in and advised her not to answer any questions from the GH's lawyers because they're looking out for GH. They're not looking out for her. And Portia and Terry both looked like deer in the headlights. But I don't know. Do you guys think her silence will help the situation or hurt it? I don't know. Personally, it wouldn't surprise me if GH were to try to use Elizabeth as a scapegoat in what could be a lawsuit against GH, especially if they don't figure out who's doing it. We know the culprit, but GH doesn't. But regardless of that, anyone with half a brain should know that this clearly isn't Elizabeth. What motive would she have to kill Sam or Dex? You know, it's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Lucky's trying to be supportive of her, but, you know, he walked her to the hospital, but she thought she was going into, like, a standard meeting that was just, like, protocol for what she's going through. So we, like, sent him off, and he went to the gym with Isaac, and he needed to look for a job, and Lucky went to Charlie's, so he's going to be a bartender there. Lucky the bartender, just like his brother Ethan. Liz had every right to have a lawyer present. Oh, I agree. I totally agree. I think that Rick did good by stepping in. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think they're gonna try to use her as a scapegoat because that's just what corporations do. They have to pin the blame on someone. And they're not telling the police about anything. Yeah, it's nuts. It is nuts. She's one of the few people on the show who has never killed anyone. That is incorrect. Did she not kill Finn's wife? And like block it out? Isn't that what happened? It was, you know, when Elizabeth was like a teenager, she coincidentally ran into Finn's wife, who was having an affair with Liz's father, I think. And then like pushed her down the stairs. Or no, okay, pushed her down the stairs, which ended up putting her in the hospital, and then she died of some kind of weird disease after being admitted to it, right? There we go. Now I remember. So okay, you're right. She didn't kill anyone. She like got the ball rolling for someone's death accidentally. Yeah, unintentionally, obviously. Angel says, culprit or not, the hospital will throw someone under the bus. Yeah, she's head nurse. She's in charge of nurses and meds. It happened on her watch. Exactly. So basically, someone else needs to die while Elizabeth isn't working there for her to be cleared. But yeah, that's really all there was on GH this week. Again, it was a short week. There was only 3 episodes. But you know, there was a lot to talk about there, including the mix up with the sneak peek of Michael's flamboyant exit. Dang. Cyrus shouldn't be able to walk around impersonating an employee and have access to IV digitalis. Yeah, like surely like there's cameras in the hallways that spot Cyrus walking around in scrubs. Surely. Man. I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, it was certainly an interesting start to the first, you know, for 2025 for GH. I always want to have hope for GH to do better. I don't want it to be canceled. The show has been in rough shape in my opinion for a while now, and something's got to give. Sandy said, "Let's put Drew, let's put Drew in the hospital and send Cyrus in his room. Why not? I'm all for it. Why not? You know." Someone's got to take the needle, so to speak. Angel said, I don't know how Rick knew to be there, but thank God. She probably texted him about the meeting, and then he probably just showed up. Allison said, yeah, no one likes Drew. I think GH is broke. I don't know. There's a little bit of budget there, considering how much fire was used in that scene. And even a stunt double willing to set himself on fire. But yeah, time will tell. But yeah, with that, that's the end of the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Not much else to talk about because it was a short week. We will watch that scene of Sonny getting shot in the chest twice back in early 2000s on Wednesday as a throwback for GHMV Reacts. A little bit of budget there. Yes, exactly. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Here's to a good 2025 for all of us. I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays the last couple of weeks, and that you're hitting the ground running with your New Year's resolutions and setting your goals and doing your thing, and hopefully keep up that momentum into the new year. All right. Good night. Mwah.